This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP network.
This is episode 604 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast for March 26th, 2024. Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I am joined by my co-host, Tracy.
Hello.
And Christopher.
What up?
And of course, Michelle is not here, so we've got a much better replacement, and that is Kenneth coming back from Russia for you.
Whoa.
Look, unless any of these
That was
people...
Kenneth's idea, too.
If any of these people tell Michelle, or the people listening, there's no way she'll know, because she doesn't listen anyway, so it's fine.
It's just one big
So
secret.
everybody keep the secret.
Yeah, don't tell her.
I am, of course, Lee, and we've got an interest. I've been looking forward to doing this episode for quite a while. So last year, I sent an email out to the Producers Club to get them to send in their Universal Orlando-related questions. So some of these questions are, we might just go, yeah, and that's it.
Okay.
Right? Some of them, we could probably spend half an hour on. They are in a Google Doc, numbered. I am going to ask each one of you to pick a number, and we will answer that question.
It's been a while since this list was made.
A long time
Yeah.
ago.
People have probably forgotten all about it.
Exactly, which makes it... Well, to be fair, I'd originally asked for him. It was going to flesh out the news shows, because I'm like, it's going to get to a point where there's not a lot of news to talk about. Anyone who's listened to last week's show, no, that will never be true. So I've just decided now we're just going to do a whole show of it. So, as I said, some of them will be, like, we might just go, yeah, no, I don't think so, and that'll be it.
This
and
makes me nervous.
Interesting. I can't even remember what the questions are at this point. I mean, I put some in there just to start us
When
off.
do you think Volcano Bay is going to open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, they haven't been that old.
When do you think the Legacy store will close?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, let's get on with it. Chris, pick me a number between 1 and 65.
Come on, you couldn't go a little higher.
That's how many I got.
All right. Let's do 39.
39. He wanted 69, didn't he? I
Yeah.
just realised that's where you were going. So this actually comes from Michelle. So even though she's not here, she's still being part of it. She said, she asked, what will the theme of the kids' suite be at the new Epic Universe Hotel?
Ooh. I think it's got to be Nintendo.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, How to Train Your Dragon?
One of those two.
Yeah. I think I'm leaning more towards Nintendo.
Yeah.
Just because of that like synergy between the two, and obviously everybody loves Nintendo, so that's like the quote kids suite is going to attract probably more adults than kids.
Absolutely. There's probably going to be maybe switches or something in there as well for the kids to play
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Instead of phone chargers, it's just like Switch docking
Yeah.
stations.
One-ups as your little stools.
Like the beds will be Mario Karts. You know, like the bomb beds in the Minion suite. The beds will be Mario Kart cars.
Or the big rocket that flies right to the front, because that always gets me.
Bullet Bill.
Yeah.
That's the one. I couldn't think what it's called. Yeah.
Going back to the one-ups, you can have that as your soap dispenser, so you keep on hitting it.
Oh,
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
love it.
I mean, they'd obviously could potentially put like things for your power-up band in there as well. So for those, like, how about giving people even more of a reason to stay in those suites? Is like, you can't have the full power-up thing if you don't go and stay in our kids' suites.
Oh, that there's an exclusive stamp that you can only get by hitting the block in the room.
Yeah.
Or
That'd be cool. Yeah.
make sure that your kids have brushed the teeth and washed their hands when they go to the bathroom every time, because
Yeah.
they get...
True.
Yeah.
And then you know that the kids are doing it because they're going to for that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. I love the idea of a How to Train Your Dragon one, but I think Nintendo is more likely.
I mean, what she's asked there is the Epic Universe Hotel. So I'm expecting if they do kids suites, these are going to be in Stella Nova and Terra Luna, not the Helios. I expect the Helios to be very straight-laced and top of the range. No kids suites in there. It's like
no kids allowed.
high end. Yeah, I expect it to be.
Well, where are the kid suites in the existing hotels? Aren't they at some of the more upper level hotels?
I think there are ones in Portofino, aren't there?
I don't know. We've never taken kids
Aren't
anywhere
there
I know
nice.
Royal Pacific
Meet our
has
Portofino
Park
expert.
ones.
Sapphire has
Jurassic
I
Park.
think Sapphire has Minion ones.
I thought they were in Portofino. There's Jurassic Park ones and there's Minion.
Yeah. I don't know if there's others.
I mean, I don't think they'll exclude it from Helios. I get the reasoning why you're saying that, but I think it could be done on like maybe at least a couple of your high end suites where it's like you have this really nice ritzy area for the parents and you have the one-off side room for the kids, and the parents are good because they have their amenities and the kids are in their room and leaving the parents alone. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds worth the money to me.
So the Minions ones are in Portofino and the Jurassic Park suites are in the Royal Pacific. So like
all right.
a sort of top end and the bottom top end.
Okay.
But Nintendo makes sense, honestly. Out of the two, with what you guys have said, like that's the one. Like How to Train Your Dragon to get so many people in, but Nintendo's going to get everybody in.
It doesn't have to be just one. Like, why are we limiting it to just one IP?
I mean, that's true. Yeah, you
can have multiple IPs in there.
If you go off what I was saying and it not being in the Helios and being in Stellar Nova and Terra Luna, you do How to Train Your Dragon in one and Nintendo in the other. And you do the Monsters suites in Helios.
Chibi monster suites, because chibis are huge.
Because you're not going to get...
So little cute monsters.
You're not going to get a Potter-themed room.
No.
That's not going to happen, guaranteed. So you've only got the other 3 IPs to work with.
Yeah.
And Monsters?
We'll just say that the other 3, those 3 that we have to work with are the 3 that personally I would want to stay in.
Yes.
More than Potter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If they did like an adult suite where it's like themed for adults, so like that would be the Monsters one for me.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like it even comes with like a California king bed because, you need a big bed for the monster.
No, it would be a coffin. You get to sleep in a coffin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the kids sleep.
You
Locks on the outside.
Close it. Yeah, exactly.
So going back to a Nintendo room, how'd the kids get in the room?
Through a portal.
Pipes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could have one in the floor that they have to crawl through to get to into their room instead of a door. That'd be cool.
I think the pipe also needs to be the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But don't go down it.
No.
No. My biggest disappointment with Super Nintendo World in Hollywood was that the toilets are not green. They're just white, normal toilets. I was very upset.
That's a missed opportunity right there.
That, yeah.
Dropping a log down a warp pipe isn't a good idea.
I mean, it's okay for blockages. The plumbers.
I've unplugged my iPad. I needed a bum bum. Wow. I mean, that's, yeah. All right. I think there we should stop that because, wow, we're not going to beat that, are we? Who did I have next? Tracy, pick me a number between 1 and 65.
13.
Did I say 65? 13. Of course, you're going to go for 13. Right, this one comes from Mr. Chuck Sharla.
Okay.
Chuck asks, will Epic offer annual passes from the opening, or do you think it will be an offer for later?
Never.
Ooh.
Okay.
Never.
I'm just being evil. That's an interesting question.
It's a very interesting
I've never
question.
thought about that. I think they may even go about not even adding it to our current pass holders and making it like a single ticket thing.
I think it would be sensible
At least for the
them
first year.
for the first 2 years, knowing how busy it's going to be, to offer an annual pass, I think would be a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just assumed they just automatically would.
Because I think they'll want to at least have some sort of idea of how many people are coming into the park each day, whereas if you offer annual passes, you have no clue.
Yeah. And if people get blacked out have blackout dates immediately from that, they're going to kick off.
And someone like Chris, who goes relatively regularly, is going to get an annual pass and be there way more than he normally would be, I would assume.
Oh, yeah. Well, and just even going past that, I mean, again, Universal is a business, so they're going to get way more money selling individual tickets.
Yeah.
Because your pass holders are still going to have to buy a ticket on top of just every other day guest.
Yeah.
So
that's it, yeah.
I think it makes sense to do that. I don't want them to do that, but again, speaking from the realm of it's a business as well.
Uh-huh.
It'd be interesting to go back to when Ireland's opened to see whether, I don't even know at that point in 1999, whether you could get, Kenneth, you might know, Chris, either of you to be fair, whether there was So before Islands opened, did Universal have an annual pass? Do either of you know?
I don't know that.
I could not tell you, man. I didn't
think I
have
got-
one. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I think I got my first annual pass in like 2002 or 3. And that was like Universal was desperate to get people into the park. So I think the deal then was you could get 2 years for the price of one, which is why we got them.
I think you mentioned last episode, Kenneth, that when you went down when we were talking about DreamWorks Land, that you said or was that just you, or were you talking about with your parents?
With my
annual
family,
passes?
with my parents.
When you were a kid?
Yeah. Well, I was like 13.
Okay.
Like 13. But I had younger, like a younger sister and like
Right.
younger kids that would
I'm
come with us,
forgetting
so.
you're not my age, so when kids isn't as long ago as it was for us, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, it would be
Save yourself.
interesting to see whether annual passes were available at that point, and then what they did when IOA opened would give you an indication potentially.
Yeah. I think though, even looking at that, just Universal's presence in the theme park landscape is a lot bigger now.
That's
I
true.
think back when Islands of Adventure opened, I don't think it was as big a deal
No.
as Epic Universe is going to be. It was kind of like, oh, look, they're opening another park. Cool, good for them. How cute. Now it's like, okay, this is going to be the most impressive thing anyone's ever seen.
Yes. Yeah. It doesn't make sense for them to offer an annual pass straight out the gate purely for just crowd control.
Mhm.
And like you said,
Yeah.
for money.
And I think it might even help annual pass holders to not offer a pass that includes Epic right away, because that way they don't have to bump the pass up like a huge amount to
That's
include it.
true. Yeah.
So you can keep your pass holders on board by keeping the pass relatively at the same price, and then you offer pass holder discounts for single day tickets.
Yeah.
And then you might still
That would
get
be a smart
people.
move, yeah.
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 Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think we'll see it. And I don't know that there's going to be like a hard set time frame on that. I think it'll just depend on what the crowds do
Yes.
and what it looks like the ticket sales are and like how they trend for the first, several months to several years.
I think several years is closer. Yeah, I don't think it'll be several months. I think that park will be rammed for the foreseeable future
Yeah.
because everyone and the grandma's going to be there in the next few years, aren't they?
Grandmas love Nintendo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kenneth, pick me a number
Yes.
between 1 and 65, excluding 35 and 13.
Because of Nintendo, we're going to go with 64.
64.
Nice.
Smart.
So this one comes from Adam Phillips, and he says, with Epic Universe's Wizarding World expansion already in full swing, do you think there will be an expansion of the Wizarding World at either Islands of Adventure, perhaps in the Lost Continent area, or at Universal Studios, perhaps where the Fear Factor live stage is? If so, what will those expansions look like? I'm going to start this one off because I think it's quite interesting, because for the longest time, the rumour for Fear Factor Live coming down was the Ministry of Magic, which we're obviously now not going to get because that's going into Epic
Mhm.
Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to say. What do I think that it will happen? I think Diagon is more likely to get expanded than Hogsmeade is, just
Yeah, I
because I
agree.
think
Lands,
Lost Continent is better suited to bring something new.
Yeah.
And it's already been expanded with Hagrid's.
Yeah.
Or I guess it's not really an expansion, but it has already gotten it's different than it was when it opened already.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the only things that come to mind of things that are not in those two areas that I would like to see added are for Hogsmeade. Like I would like to see the Shrieking Shack
Yes.
or something like
Yeah.
that added to Hogsmeade. But I don't know that it would need. I don't know what it would be, or that it would be worth expanding into Lost Continent. When
No.
I personally would rather see Legend of Zelda go there.
I agree.
Yeah, it's funny you brought that up
Yeah.
because I was trying to think what they could expand, because it needs to be in continuity to the area. I wouldn't want them to expand it to something that's like, I can't even, like the Chamber of Secrets. And it's
Yeah.
like, that doesn't make sense because it's
No.
nowhere friggin' near Hogsmeade, you know? It is,
Right.
but you know what I mean. It wouldn't make sense for them to take over the Lost Continent and put the Chamber of Secrets down there or whatever. So I'd want it to be something in continuity, which the Shrieking Shack would be perfect, but you wouldn't need that whole area to put that in there.
Right.
And then I don't know, there's nothing really around Diagon Alley that you would add in either, other than the Ministry of Magic, unless you did St. Mungo's. You do something with St. Mungo's.
But
I don't know what
Yes.
that would look like.
Get to go visit the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what
I
else
don't know
is there?
what would go there, but I would love something that is an experience that you can walk through, so that you could also change parks
Okay.
without having to go to the front and without having to go on the train. Because when you're on those busy train days and you're like, screw it, let's go to the other park, you have to either walk all the way to the front or wait a really long time in the back. So instead, add another experience similar to that of the train, where it entices people to want a multi park pass to then do this, but also gives that flexibility to guests to say, hey, I want to hop over to studios or vice versa, and I can do it much quicker this way.
Yeah. Or I don't have to wait 45 minutes for the Hogwarts Express. Go on, 'cause
So,
you've got your...
So the hedge maze from the Triwizard Cup. It doesn't have to actually be a maze. Just have it like
So it
winded.
feels...
So you could
that
just
would be
do that.
cool.
Come on, Tracy, I already get lost inside. So
I'm just determined for you to
It
get
would
lost.
be a straight
Another
path
maze?
with just
Yeah.
kinks in it. But yeah,
Kinks?
kinks.
Ooh.
Oh, it's like
Jesus.
there's any of those in
Alright.
Harry Potter. Wow.
That would make a lot of sense, actually, because not everyone wants to wait. Because let's be honest, the Hogwarts Express at any time of the year is generally at least a 25, 30-minute
Yeah.
wait. To be able to walk that on your own and it wouldn't take that long. We all know that.
Going out the front of the park doesn't take that long.
No, but from there
but
to
that's what I'm saying,
Diagon Alley,
you-
I'm trying to think of anything that would potentially, in continuity, link the two other than the Hogwarts Express, but I can't think of anything. Considering they're supposed to be like 500 miles apart.
Yeah, or like a Forbidden Forest type walk.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's just a load of trees. And every now and again, you're like, "Aroo!"
Yeah, every other kind of transportation that would get you from point A to point B that far of a distance is more instant, like a port key
Can I say-
or
Yeah.
a flu network.
Why don't they just put a port key in? I mean, come on.
Michelle would be very happy.
In this day and age, they should be able to do these things.
Yeah, I don't see them. So basically, for me, answering that, I don't see them expanding those two areas anytime soon. Like, definitely not within the next 5 years.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
I mean, the rumours obviously are about, like we said, about Hyrule going into Lost Continent, which makes much more sense than expanding Pottermore. Pottermore.
Yeah.
Aha,
Pottermore?
bum, bum, tsh. That was unintentional. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get
I
a
also would
class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
I also would like to see an actual show go into Fear Factor rather than tearing it down. 'Cause
Yeah.
the both Universal parks that exist, the two existing parks, are pretty low on stage shows,
Yes, they
Islands
are.
especially, but we keep losing shows and not getting new ones to replace them.
Yeah.
Let's just have the Quidditch World Cup in there.
Yeah, because me and Tracy, we've said that before on the show that, yes, there's lots of shows, but the Frog Choir, the Triwizard Tournament, the Spirit Rally, the Blues Brothers, the Beat Builders, Marilyn, all of that, it's all stand in the hot sun shows. There's not a lot of sit down, take the weight off your feet, be entertained for 20-minute shows anymore. In fact, there isn't one in Islands at all, is there? Nope.
No.
Oh.
And then there's only one
There's Born,
and Horror Makeup
there's
2.
Horror Makeup, and there's Animal Actors.
Oh, yeah.
Is
So
that still
3.
open?
Yeah. Yes, that's still open. I don't know why it's still open, but it is.
I like it. I like
Because
seeing
when was the
animals.
last time we went to see it?
Because I just go, you go, I don't want to do that. And I go, okay then.
I genuinely can't remember the last time we saw it. It's got to be at least 2015. At least.
I know.
It's just animals. I can see animals anywhere.
I can't. Don't have any anymore.
You just look out the window. There's birds and cats and dogs and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, have we done that one?
I think so.
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
I think we'll do another
Thank
one
you.
before we take a break. Chris, pick me a number between 1 and 65.
7.
This one comes from Judy Klein, and she says, where will they focus on refreshing in Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure once they've finished Epic Universe?
Toon Lagoon.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
I think if rumours be true, I think Springfield will be the next one
Yeah.
because that Fox license is about to lapse.
It's about up, isn't it? Yeah.
So probably there. Apparently Universal have a 10-year plan for Islands and Studios. Again, if rumours be true, who knows what's happening in Fast and Furious when it closes in August this year.
And there's still Lost Continent to
Yeah.
discuss because we have empty property there.
Yeah. I think in terms of like what most needs the refresh
Yeah.
is Lost Continent. But
Yeah.
what's going to get it next? Yeah, I think probably Simpsons.
Yeah, you're right. Lost Continent, because there's nothing there now. It's just a walkthrough to get to Zeus Landing or Hogsmeade, depending unless you're going to eat.
Which is sad.
It really
It
is.
because I love Lost Continent. I love the whole feel of it.
And it will be a sad loss because it will be the only land at either park that isn't based on an IP that's finally going to be going and getting based on an IP. And I think it's sad. It's sad though,
But
isn't
I
it?
mean, look at it. Look at it like this. Honestly, you can just say it's gone already.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is there? It is a walkthrough. Maybe you grab some food.
Yeah, that's it.
You reminisce of how it was 20 years ago, and you keep on walking to Potter. I mean, that's all you do.
Yeah, or you're going into the All Hallows Eve
Yeah.
boutique,
It's essentially a food court now.
pretty much.
I've just realised.
It is though. There's like freestyle machines.
is.
You're going to Doctor Grew's, you're going to Fire Eater's Grill, or you're going to Mythos on your way to queue for an hour for Hagrid's.
And I still think they should put up some shades and put some tables and chairs in the pathways of Poseidon's, because I think that'll be an awesome place
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
grab your food
Oh,
and go and
yeah.
sit
Yeah.
with the water running.
Oh,
and
that'd
stuff.
be awesome. I don't understand why they don't use those areas. Like if it's open, just use it.
Because I know they've expanded and put seating, like tables and chairs along the side of it. Put it in the actual like line area.
Or put some in front of the Mystic Fountain and then see who's brave enough to sit and eat their gyro while potentially getting squirted in the face by the Mystic Fountain.
That's the one thing that I am kind of like, they better not mess with that.
See, even that, I wonder how many people visit that now. Because it used to be that you were going to the Mystic Fountain, you would pass it going to see the 8th Voyage of Sinbad. Now it's just there, and if he's not actually talking to people, you could quite comfortably walk past it and not realise that it's a thing.
Hopefully, whatever they end up wiping away and putting there, they just kind of repurpose that, right? Obviously, it doesn't have to be a fountain like that, but just that style show,
Like an interactive
or whatever you want to call
element.
experience.
Yeah.
The Mystic Fountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have ideas for Zelda things. I think it could either be a fairy fountain or a bargainer statue.
I don't know what either of those things are.
Okay. In every Zelda game, there's always a great fairy fountain that you can go to, and there are fairies there, and they will fully replenish your health.
Okay.
And you can also, sometimes there's the great fairies that are there, and they're like very giant, and you can upgrade your armor at those. And then the bargainer statues are these really creepy, almost like demon-looking statues that you can talk to, and they basically like connect to the afterlife. And so you can collect what are called Poes, which are like little ghost spirits, and then you can return Poes to the bargainer statue and send these spirits to the afterlife in exchange for rare items.
Okay.
The bargainer would fit better, like with the current style of it. But it depends on how cutesy they're going to make Zelda.
Yeah, I mean, Zelda gets very scary. So if they're going to do it right, it's got to be a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But if they do it cutesy, it's going to be the Great Fairy Fountain, because that's quite cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so realistically, it's going to be Springfield just purely because of what we know about the Simpsons license and stuff.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because if you haven't got the license for it, what
a
else?
heck
You've
of a-
got to do something with it, haven't you?
That's a heck of an area to
Right.
just have laying dormant.
Yeah, it would be weird to see what they would do if that license lapsed and they just had to. Can you imagine walking through Springfield no team members in there, everything closed, everything done? It would be weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge
That's
footprint.
that's the one that there's a ticking clock on that one.
Yeah.
Whereas like Lost Continent, they can do whenever they feel
Yeah.
like it. But that one, they have to have something planned for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Lost Continent.
Do we know that date that it has to be?
No.
I've seen rumors for years that the Simpsons license ends in 2028, which is 20
Okay.
years.
Okay.
Not that far.
Interesting, because it again, like I said, it's that weird one where Lost Continent, you can close Poseidon and you close Sinbad, and it's still a nice area to walk through. You shut down Springfield, and you're like, "What the hell is this?" It would be weird.
Let's put it back to the future, man.
They would
There you
just
go.
have to put walls, like those construction walls, through the entire land.
Ooh, a nice corridor.
It'd be like Jurassic Park when they were building Velocicoaster.
I got so turned around when that
It was weird. Like when you walk into a land having never been there for like 3 years, 4 years, and like they've ripped trees out and like, I don't recognise this land anymore. I have no idea where I am.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it was weird. Cool. Right, we shall take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Man, we need a vacation.
Oh, I got this.
Whoa, that's awesome. But I was thinking something a little more adventurous.
Okay, how about this?
Yes!
And how about some relaxation from Mama?
Oh, perfect. How did you do that?
Easy. Portkey Vacations.
For your next vacation, let Portkey Vacations take away all the guesswork and stress of planning. From air and hotel to theme park tickets and everything else in between, they've got you covered. Just visit PortkeyVacations.com and touch the Portkey to get started with your free, no-obligation quote request. With just one touch, and Portkey Vacations will magically take you wherever you want to go.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here, Tracy, me, Kenneth, and Chris, answering the Producers Club question. I'm actually quite enjoying this. It's going exactly how I hoped it would. So, Kenneth, Chris, you did the last one. So it is Tracy. Pick me a number between 1 and 65 and try not to pick the ones we've already had.
12.
Number 12. This one comes from Matt Lynch. He says, if Epic Universe could create a whole new seasonal event for Universal, what could it be?
Well, they don't have Easter covered.
I mean, they do a little bit of Easter in the hotels, but yeah, not...
But you'd have to keep it religion free because obviously,
Just be hop themed.
just a giant Easter egg hunt.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we already have Mardi Gras, which brings in that, food style event, but I'd love to see them just expand on that.
Yeah, but exactly, Chris. So here's something that we all need to think about. How many days of the year does Mardi Gras actually take place? Not a Universal, the proper one.
Oh, one.
Right. So when they talk about seasonal event, when you talk about... go on then, Chris, how many?
Maybe like a week or two.
For people from New Orleans, about a month.
But as a rule...
Okay.
Like I went there like a week before it started, saw parades, asked the guy like, isn't it like a week or two from now? He goes, we do this all month. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
But
okay.
the actual quote, Fat Tuesday is, yes, it is a day, but they don't do that.
So then the argument is that someone mentions seasonal event and you think, well, look, even... So let's just take Halloween, for example. Halloween, this isn't ambiguous like Mardi Gras. Halloween is 1 day a year and Universal managed to stretch it out for 2 months. Yeah. So when we're talking seasonal events, it doesn't have to be like the holidays, or it can literally be a 1 day event that we're going to stretch out to a whole seasonal event. So for Chris, St. Paddy's Day lasts 2 months.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, you're going based off of seasonal as in holiday, but like I'm thinking seasonal as in just like an event that goes over the course of X amount of weeks.
Right.
So like it doesn't have to be Christmas, it doesn't have to be this or that. That's why I was saying something along the lines of like Epcot's Food and Wine Festival.
Okay.
Like
so
that to me is a seasonal event.
Right.
So we already have that with Mardi Gras-ish, but nowhere to the scale of what Epcot has. So something like that, like a larger scale event of food and wine or drinks or whatever, I would love something like that.
Now you've got me thinking because Flower and Garden in Epic could really work well with that whole new...
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would work because Celestial Park looks like it's going to be amazing.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
And then to do like a Flower and Garden Festival in there, hell yes.
It could be, because Celestial Park is all celestial bodies based, you could do like a solstice type thing.
You are just reading my mind.
Yeah, and that would be your excuse to celebrate something and put out all this food. Because the other tricky thing about Epic, and the reason you don't see like all park events happen at islands, is because of the IPs. So to either have to be something that all of the IPs can celebrate, or it only happens in Celestial Park.
Mercury in retrograde. That's what we're celebrating.
Oh, it's the blood moon.
Yeah.
Just celebrate the blood moon. Just sacrifice all the guests coming in through the portals.
You see, if there wasn't the amount of light
Yeah.
pollution in the area, you could have
Stargazing.
like opening late and doing like the night sky type stargaze stuff.
Yeah, so we'd need the maypole made out of human bodies. That needs to be there. Yeah, I like that. The Flower and Garden Festival I like a festival of the arts, farts.
Yeah.
But then you're stealing from Disney. I don't want them to steal from Disney.
Yeah. You have to think too that like usually these events are done in seasons when it's normally slow to try to bring
Yes.
people to the parks. So like you wouldn't have it in the summer. So it would have to be like a spring or fall thing.
Yeah, but because I'm thinking, oh well, it would take people away from Horror Nights, but it wouldn't, would it? If you did a harvest festival,
That's exactly what I was trying to think. What?
Yeah.
like a harvest festival in October. So the people that's like a lot of the complaints of people who come over in September and October who don't do Horror Nights of like, I want to come over that time of year because like for people from England, the kids are back at school, the parks aren't as busy, but I'm not getting full days in the parks because of Halloween Horror Nights. Then if you did something like that down in Epic, you've got that separate from Horror Nights that people can then go down and do that in there. That would work really well. I'm going to say a Mickey's Not So Scary, but a Universal's Not So Scary in Epic Universe.
Mhm.
I think they're missing out not
I
doing
don't think
a
they need to do
family-friendly.
all that. I mean, it's. I like where you're going with this, where you just have alternatives because
Yeah.
as it is right now, we only have the 2 parks, right? Like you have to think of a grander scale, like Disney. Disney has 4 different parks. They could take out one park completely and still keep guests busy.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Whereas we take out Horror Nights, and then we also have, which, you know, I am going to shame them on this, park hours that suck at
Yep.
the other park. Then yeah, you have nothing left to do. So fix your park hours, number one. But yeah, having this like fall type event festival, we've spoken about this on the podcast before. There are tons of people that will come in families, and maybe half the family doesn't go to Horror Nights,
Yes.
and they want to do something else that's not just sitting and eating in City Walk.
Yeah.
So having another event like this would be fantastic.
Yeah, I like it. So many. You're welcome, Universal, but please just give us I'll take a dime for every idea that you use.
A dime?
Yeah, I don't even
you're
know how much
easily
that is
bought.
to be. Is that 10? I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't use American money. I just slap my card down and
Yeah.
I put it
Worry
this way.
about it when you get home.
I'm not usually spending dimes either, to be fair. Many of them.
Yeah.
Kenneth, your turn.
Yes.
Pick me a number between 1 and 65.
27.
27. This one comes from Katie Mack. She says, how long until butterbeer is $10?
Days.
How much is it now?
2 years ago.
Yeah. How much is it? It's about 8 now, isn't it?
I think
That's a
so.
lot.
And it was like 4 when it opened. Jesus.
Double, that's crazy.
In like, what, 14 years? So like what we're looking at, like 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't just look at butterbeer itself, right? I mean, compare it to how much is, and I don't know because I get like the freestyle stuff, but how much is like a soda?
A bottle
Like
or
you got
a
a large,
a bottle or a cup?
let's say a bottle. Let's say a bottle.
Like $5 or $6?
Okay, so then what, an extra 20% premium for a themed whatever drink.
Is it really $6 for a bottle of
I
Coke?
think so.
Something
I know a
like
bottle of water is like $6-7,
Yeah.
so I
Oh
could
my
see a
gosh.
bottle of Coke being that much.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Because that's why we started getting the freestyle cups the last few times we've been, because we balked at the price of how much a bottle of Coke was.
And also it means I can have lots of sugar and leave things I've got water.
I didn't care. I don't think it'll be that long.
No, I only did that one day. I had such a bad headache the next day. It was water for days after.
When you just look at how much food and drink everywhere's increased, I don't think it'll be long before. But it wouldn't surprise me if when Epic opens, they whack that price up because they know. I wonder if they'll serve butterbeer in.
Of course they will.
In the other park. You think they will?
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, of course they're putting those ATMs there.
They'll probably have an Ollivander's over there too, or some equivalent.
Yeah,
Maybe a
it wouldn't surprise
Grigorovich or something. I just checked. Butterbeer is $8.49.
Wow.
Is that before tax?
Yes, that's the That's the listed price on the menu.
So it's nearly $9 already then, with tax.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're looking at maybe a year.
yeah.
A year of inflation and off we go, yeah. Oh, I didn't expect us to take that long to discuss that question, but yeah, it's crazy. I'm sure it was only like $3.99 when the park when Hogsmeade first opened. Because didn't they? They made a big deal of it, didn't they? That they made enough money off butterbeer alone in the first year to cover the cost of building Hogsmeade. I think that's what if I remember rightly, which is ridiculous.
That is crazy.
And Disney have been chasing that signature drink money for years, and they've still never managed to nail it.
The original price of butterbeer was $3.99.
Yeah. Wow.
That doesn't sound like 2% inflation.
Cool. Right. Who was that? Kenneth. So, Chris, back to you.
Let's do 25. There we go. 25. I don't know. Just 25.
Oh, well, here we go. Interesting. We've kind of already answered this question. It's Katie Mack again. She says, when will Simpsons close or get a major overhaul?
Soon.
When did you say, Kenneth? 2028?
That's the year I've seen rumored online.
I thought it was sooner than that, but...
It could be. They might pull a plug.
20
If I had
years
to
makes
vote, I'd
sense.
say yes. I'd say 2028. Let's say 2028 is the latest it could stay there till.
Those vehicles are not going to last.
That's the year I had seen like years ago before it was like really in conversation.
Let's Google it and see if I can find anything.
Epic opens up next year. So all that construction capacity that they've been doing there can be focused and knock out Simpsons in months if they wanted to. I mean, if you look at the scale at which they're building Epic at. So they could turn around and say, hey, we just want to do it sooner. And maybe come up with something that'll make them even more money.
So
I'm sure Disney wouldn't object to be like, oh yeah, you don't want to give us this, or well, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, you want it earlier? Give me a little premium. That's it.
Yeah.
So backing up what Kenneth said, multiple sites. I've just Googled Fox Universal Simpsons contract. Inside Universal, we don't know. But the rumours indicate the duration is a 20-year licensing agreement, putting the end year at 2028. And then a site that I will not name have said the same. Not the one you're thinking of either, to be fair.
Could be many.
Okay.
It's the other one that's just as bad. Theme park tourists, they're all saying 2028. Yeah, which I actually thought it was sooner than that, but
But it could be.
Yeah, it could be, but I don't think there's any reason for them unless Disney turn around and go, oi, give us Marvel or we're shutting it down early and we go, you take it, I don't want it.
Dude, I've been saying this. Sell off Marvel. Sell it to them for $1 billion. They'll pay it and then use that and build up some awesome stuff.
There you go.
I mean, that's going to be an interesting one. I don't think
yeah.
it's a question to see what happens when it's inevitable at some point that Disney will get Marvel back. And what they'll put in that land, it'll be very interesting to see what that is.
The only way that I will be okay with Marvel going away is if part of the contract, part of the sale, or whatever, the return of that license requires that Disney just build the exact same Spider-Man ride.
Yeah.
That's I'm not willing to lose that Spider-Man ride. It's my favorite ride in the world. And the idea of it going away and then Disney building some other worse Spider-Man ride, which they've already done.
Yep.
It's unacceptable to me.
You don't like Slingshot Mania?
Yeah. Have you ridden that, Kenneth?
Yeah, I rode it when I went to Disneyland in August.
How was it?
I liked it better than I thought it would. Like, it's not terrible, but it's basically like a more advanced version of Toy Story Mania. So like the web slinging is actually like very responsive. I was pretty impressed with how accurate, like I want to shoot that thing and like you web it and like it pretty much tracked where I wanted it to go.
Okay.
So like it's pretty impressive, but like, is it a fun ride? Not really. Like the Islands Spider-Man ride is infinitely better.
Okay, interesting.
Is that a ride that's just getting people to do exercise?
I mean, let's be honest.
Kind of,
So here's the
yeah.
question: when you compared it to Toy Story Mania, are your arms hurting as much as they are when you come off Toy Story Mania, or not?
They hurt more on Spider-Man, I think.
Okay.
There's also a similar ride at Legoland here in Florida.
the Ninjago
ride.
Yeah.
That's basically the exact same like technology and ride system, but like the Disney one is better. But yeah, it's fine. It wouldn't be as bad if I didn't know that there's a better Spider-Man ride that's better than every other ride anywhere on the other side of the country.
I love Toy Story Mania, but my shoulder comes off like... I come off that ride with my shoulder feeling like a teenage boy's. That's how bad it is.
Wow. If you come off that ride with feeling in your arm, you did not
It's
play
like
properly.
teenage boys. If you want a workout for that,
Jesus
ride Toy Story
Christ.
Mania. I haven't said anything. People
But you
want
said
to assume
everything.
what I was exactly. Anyway, Tracy, pick me a number between 1 and 65, please.
49.
49. This one comes from Melinda Dodson.
Ah.
She asks, we've kind of already answered this as well. What will the Lost Continent become and when?
Hyrule.
So we know what it is. I think the bigger question is, when is it going to happen?
I think it's going to be after Epic opens.
Probably.
And probably a couple of years
Yeah.
after Epic opens. I think I think it's probably going to be 2 or 3 years before this really start to... Because it's still a functioning land.
I mean, barely.
But it is. It's a food court. That's what we decided.
It's probably still making them money, to be fair.
Yeah.
In fact, it's probably making them more money than other lands because that's all you can do in there.
I think it's one of the first 2 things to happen after Epic. The next 2 things after Epic are replacements for Lost Continent and Simpsons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What order that happens in, I don't know. But I think those have to be the next 2 things.
Yeah, because I think, like Chris, you said Toon Lagoon, and I still think regardless of no one knows any of those IPs anymore, those rides are still fun regardless of whether you have any connection with the IPs at all. Like a lot of people, like kids going in now, won't know who the hell Popeye is, won't know who the hell Dudley Do-Right is,
That's
but those
bad
are
parenting.
still phenomenal rides. Whereas Lost Continent, like, what are we doing in this land then? Nothing. Yeah, oh, okay then. Do you want some fries with that? Yeah, all right. Oh, there's a shop. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a troll under the bridge.
Is this my chance to pitch my SpongeBob land for Toon Lagoon?
Hey,
Yes, please.
go
Yes,
for it,
please.
because yes.
Okay. So the whole Toon Lagoon becomes Bikini Bottom, or you can call it SpongeBob SquarePants Bikini Bottom. That's the name of the land.
Okay.
And this is the rare case where Universal would just reskin the existing rides. You don't need to build completely new rides because you've got a raft ride, you've got a flume ride. Those both are great rides. The tracks are fine. You can just retheme everything. You'd put the Krusty Krab in Comic Strip Cafe.
Yep.
You'd turn Wimpies into the Chum Bucket. I don't know what you do with Blondies. That can be like Sandy Squirrel can have a little like Texas barbecue stand or something like that.
Sounds good.
And then for Dudley Do-Rights, I would turn that into Mrs. Puff's boating school
Yes.
ride. So you are in a boat where SpongeBob is driving and you keep going down drops because he's such a bad driver. And you can go down to rock bottom and, you know, you'll see characters along the way there. And then Popeyes becomes some sort of like battle against plankton ride that takes you to basically all the other parts of
Yes.
Bikini Bottom. So it would take you to Jellyfish Field. It would take you to Goo Lagoon. Goo Lagoon would actually be like the lagoon facing area of like where the Me Ship the Olive and all of that walkway down there is. That's all Goo Lagoon. Yeah, these are my ideas. Universal can have them. I'm sure that you can talk to Viacom while they're discussing this merger to combine Peacock and Paramount Plus, which apparently is happening.
Okay.
This can be part of it.
I'm in. I'm a huge SpongeBob fan.
Me too.
Not, but it's like, yeah,
I brought the
would
kids
love
up,
to see
so,
that.
yeah.
I've seen enough of it to know that I know I like it.
Look, that 4D ride at Flamingo Land was
Yeah,
bleeping awesome.
it was.
I missed that.
Yeah, we used to have like a Jimmy Neutron type 4D attraction at our local theme park that was SpongeBob. It was awesome.
Oh, wait, you know what? And on top of that, in the Toon Lagoon Amphitheater, you put the SpongeBob musical, or like an abridged version of
Yep.
it. There you go.
Yes.
The end.
Because that needs to get used. I don't understand why they haven't put anything that in there for like ever. There's never been anything in there since we started going in
No.
2004 other than...
Sure there is.
Burnt
Cheerleader competitions.
All right, and they did a celebration of Harry Potter stuff in there one year. Brilliant.
No, I'm in for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
Kenneth, you're not alone on that Bikini Bottom thing, just because last time we were there, we left Comic Strip Cafe and those survey guys were out. They wanted to ask us how our experience was in Comic Strip, and I'm like, I was just getting a refill. That's it. And but he brought up, we just got into conversation because Alexa and I will kind of walk up to the random ones in different areas of the park just to see if, what are you asking questions about, you know?
Yeah.
And he, in conversation, and he's like, nothing to do with, like, this is not, you know, Universal talking. This is stuff that we hear people talking about a lot. He brought up SpongeBob retheming of Toon Lagoon as well.
Okay.
So he must be
SpongeBob at
hearing
this-
a lot of people saying that.
Yeah, it's proven itself at this point to be an evergreen property.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
SpongeBob will be popular forever.
Yes.
If it's still popular now, it will always be.
Yep.
Yeah. And you look at like what the only thing they've had is literally the store.
I love that store.
It is cool, but imagine a whole
It's
land
great.
like it.
I know, you'd never get me out.
It would be awesome. One more. I think we'll get... Yeah, we've probably got time for one more. Kenneth.
Let's go with 56.
56, this one also comes from Julie Klein. We seem to be well at picking the same
Yeah.
questions. She says, what do you think, if anything... This is double circling back on a question we've already answered. We might get another two in. What do you think, if anything, will go in the space of Fear Factor Live? That is the ultimate question. Because I don't see them pulling it down. Because I think we talked about this before when the rumours were originally coming about it coming down, was Nightmare Fuel or even Academy of Villains before that and Bill and Ted are always such a huge part of Halloween Horror Nights that if they pulled that down, where would they put that?
Exactly.
Because Animal Actors isn't big enough to put something like that in there.
No.
So they're always going to have to keep it as a theatre, I think, just purely for Horror Nights.
Yeah.
They could do something off-season with it, though. They could put another show in there.
I mean, they did. Fear Factor was still ongoing, and then they just
I know, but
closed
they're
it
not gonna
down
bring
during
that
Horror
back,
Nights,
have they?
didn't they? No, but that's what I'm saying.
But they
But
could,
like,
do, they
what
could
would
do that again.
Something that I would like to see, because I think as much as Fear Factor was like, you know, not the highest regarded show, I do think that it was really unique and special in that it let guests do stunts. Like,
Yeah.
it was really impressive, the things that they actually let guests do in that show. So to keep it along a similar thing, I think it'd be really cool. And this is an NBC show, so it would be part of their whole synergy era right now. I would do American Ninja Warrior as a show.
Oh, yes.
Good shout.
Like where the guests are doing it? Or
Yeah,
like a
you
show
get-
put on for...
No, guests can compete in like a more entry level Ninja Warrior course.
Yeah. Or,
Interested.
I mean, we've just got the new series out on here. I know you guys, I don't know whether it's currently on, but I know it used to be. American Gladiators, we've got the new season, we just call it Gladiators over here. To do
it's not
something
American.
like that would
right,
be
good
awesome.
America.
Yeah, I know, because you have to tell everyone to separate yourself off. That's why it's called American football. Oh, you guys just call it football. We call it American
rugby.
football. Yeah. Anyway.
Yours is the... No, I won't offend any Americans.
Don't know whether they would go down the route of a guest participation thing anymore.
Public liability,
because
I
there's
think,
not
would
a
be.
lot of that in any theme park anymore. I'm still surprised
Yeah.
that they let people do Mardi Gras, to be fair. Oh no, they're
put that
making
out
money out of it now,
Well-
so they're not stopping it.
I'm sure that waiver you signed says, if
Yeah.
you die, that's on you.
What about
Yeah.
if you take someone's eye out with a bead?
That's on you.
Yeah.
It depends. Was a kid asking for it?
Yeah.
The contract says we told you how to throw them, and if you throw them a different way and you hurt somebody, we told you not to do that. That's your
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense, man. Like, I actually kind of, I love the idea of American Ninja Warrior,
Mm.
but that is super grueling and
It is.
just liability written all over it. I could never see that happening. Because the other one's
Yeah.
like, you did some stuff at the end, but you were pretty strapped up. And it was mostly like eating cockroaches and stuff. Like that was the fun part of the show.
Yeah.
But American Ninja Warrior is just straight up all like, do this really intense activities.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just the only idea I've ever had for what I would put in that theater. Because also it's like not really in a themed area. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know that there's anything you can do in like the new era of every new theme park thing being like a super highly immersive experience.
That's
I don't
true.
think anything like that can go in there.
Unless you did something Potter related.
Right. Or expo related.
Yeah, that's kind of because I was thinking, what if you got like behind the scenes talks about rides past and present, like the stunts that were done in it and how things were set up, and just have because people like TED Talks.
Or if Men in Black's
You know,
closing.
that sort of thing.
Or if Men in Black's closing and whatever they're replacing that with, that show will be themed to it. Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is replacing Men in Black, and they're going to do a new Ghostbusters show. There you go. We'll take that.
That would be cool.
I would accept that.
Yeah.
That's literally the only re-theme of Men in Black I would take at this point is a Ghostbusters. If they were going to, rather than rip it out and do something new, if they were going to do an overlay on Ghostbusters and then a show next door,
That'd be pretty cool.
I would take that. I think, as Kenneth is the last one, that brings us full circle of everyone picking a question. I think that's going to wrap up the show. I really enjoyed that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's just, you never know what you're going to get.
No.
And just to then sit and sort of brainstorm
Made us
between us
think.
was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It did exactly what I wanted it
Yeah.
to do.
And now I'm really excited for SpongeBob SquarePants Land.
Yes.
Send us more updated questions.
Don't. I've got enough as it is for now. We've still got, we only did, how many did we do? About
9.
So we've still got 54.
I'm just saying to get some updated questions. The next time we do this, Epic's going to be open. Like, when do you think Epic's opening?
The next time we do this, Epic will not be open because I've already got this in the schedule for a few months' time. So don't worry.
Okay,
I know what
all
I'm
right.
doing. Yes, Kenneth, thank you for joining us for the last 2 weeks. It's been a lot of fun having you. Please plug your podcasts, please.
Ooh, okay, yes. Well, you probably already know me from Rush of Fear, which is on this network, the UUOP network, which was my idea.
It was.
By the way, I'd like to just take credit for that. I also have another show called Dream Jerks Podcast, where me and my friend John, we watch and discuss and review every DreamWorks animation film.
I think we need to add the Dream Jerks podcast into the UUOP network.
I
It
think-
kind of fits.
Yeah.
We do talk a lot about theme parks. One segment on every episode is pitching the theme park experience for whatever movie we're talking about.
Okay. We will talk.
So, okay.
Well,
Also, my band, Pangolin.
Yes. Sorry,
awesome.
yes, of course.
We have music out there. We are a bunch of Universal and theme park nerds and fans. And so we do a lot of songs related to things in the parks, specifically Universal. We have a whole EP themed to the Universal Monsters that we did a whole Halloween stage show for with full script and costumes and everything. That whole show is on YouTube.
That's what's
That's
coming
called
to
the Family
Horror Nights
Ghouls.
this year. That's what that IP in the Animal Actors stages. It's
Pangolin's
Pangolin.
going to HHN.
And
I
that's
love
why,
it.
and that's why Kenneth couldn't say anything because he was going against his NDA that he's already signed.
Ah.
I love
Ready
the
for me,
Pangolin on
sneaky?
YouTube.
Mike Aiello did come to that show. And so
Ooh.
every year I'm always kind of like, all right, when's that offer going to come?
Yeah.
You know, he was there. He liked it. Bill and Ted made a cameo in the show.
I have to say that Tracy and I are huge fans of Pangolin Manuel Miranda.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Oh my, yes.
Sir Pangolin Manuel Miranda.
We need a meet and greet.
Amazing. People are
It's
listening
the
going, I have
best-
no idea what
Go
you're
and look
talking
it up,
about right
people.
now.
It
It's
is.
awesome.
You will not regret it. Best thing ever.
Yeah, he's our number one fan, and he comes to every show. And he also does YouTube videos, which are on the Pangolin Band YouTube channel. So yeah, those are the things to plug. We have a new album coming out at some point this year, and our most recent single, Post-Seasonal Depression, is about the time of year after Horror Nights is over, and you're just waiting for the fun seasonal stuff to come back. And that has a music video that I directed that I'm really proud of too. So if you want to go check that out on YouTube, Post-Seasonal Depression, and The Family Ghouls by Pangolin. We also wrote an Earl the Squirrel theme song because I knew Universal wouldn't, so we did.
Yes.
So yeah, those are
Doing
my
the
plugs.
Lord's work, my friend.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Yeah, go and check that all out.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's awesome.
The latest Rush of Fear I listened to last week, and it was without Michelle being on it. You and Maddie didn't have Mama keeping you in check,
Oh,
so
no.
it was an episode, but it was fun.
That's how it always goes. If Michelle's not there and the kids are in charge, it always goes, off the rails.
Yeah. Cool. Right, that's going to wrap up this podcast. Don't forget, we want you to let us know how bad you think Fast and Furious Supercharged is by submitting your fun facts, telling us how bad you think it is. And you can get them to us at podcast@uopodcast.com. But for now, we will see you next week. So bye.
Are you insane? Get out of here. The curse, it's real. The podcast is over. So, the Magi want you to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. For all the podcast news and articles, check out our blog at uuopodcast.com. Contact us by emailing us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. And if you want to join the Producers Club, email us at uuopproducers@gmail.com. Silence! With your subscriptions, we shall rule for all eternity. Listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Not even the Magi can save you now. There is no escape. Your end shall be my beginning. Prepare yourself for your next trip by emailing Michelle at portkeyvacations.com. She can take care of all aspects of your next Universal Orlando vacation. We hope you enjoyed your podcast. Please remain seated and keep your arms and legs inside the prepare to forfeit your souls. Check out the other podcasts on the UUOP network. Rush of Fear, Halloween Horror Nights podcast, the theme park duo for all your West Coast news and info, and the Taste of Universal, Universal Orlando food podcast. So hey, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. I would have enjoyed this podcast a lot more if I had gotten my cup of coffee.